but you don't understand. I always have to work so ridiculously hard. That is the story that I often hear, and it drives me bananas that there is this perspective, and it's deeply ingrained with so many people that there's this unbelievable amount of desire to work to complete something, and if they don't get it, they don't do this thing, then their world is going to come to an end. It's going to fall apart. And it's all of this anxiety. There's a tremendous amount of work anxiety that exists, or career anxiety. And I almost always think, and then what? What is actually going to happen? And you'll realize like nothing happens, right? Like if you were to take a little bit of a step back, if you were to think about yourself in a slightly different way, absolutely nothing's going to happen. And, one of the things that you will notice is maybe you do get there a little bit quicker by doing that, by having that sort of weird feeling of pressure of getting to a certain spot. And you do get there, wherever there is, right? Like this amorphous blob of there, you get there. Then what's going to happen? And then what? This is the thing that's like so incredibly frustrating, is that there is this feeling, this push towards something, and when you get there, it doesn't exist. I want you to take a step back and really think about this. Is this you? Is this your experiences that you're going through? And question, like, what is going to happen? Right? I see this all of the time in the PhD world, because I'm in a business school. I'm in PhD world, academics, that they're extraordinarily stressed to get to some moment in time that, inevitably doesn't exist. And on top of it, it's to solve something that is deeply ingrained in them that happened at some point in their lives. I speak openly about this. This is a moment in time when I was really like lonely. And in high school, I was like, oh, if I just do better, if I get grades, good grades and all of that stuff, then I'm going to be somehow, people are going to like me. Like that was the logic that is ingrained in who I am. And I see that all of the time with this sort of hypertension, if I don't do this thing, then what? Then my life is going to fall apart. And if you take a step back and you say, let's question these assumptions, let's look at this and say, really? Is that going to happen? Is that really going to happen? If either you missed your kids' music recital, is, their kids, are they going to think that you're a bad parent? No, right? You miss some deadline, right? And, are people going to think that you're a bad employee or that you're not doing your job? You know what? If they think that by missing a deadline or a single moment in time, then, maybe you should question where it is that you're working. I want you to really think about this. It's like that desire, that tension that you feel, what is driving that? Why do you feel that way? What's going to happen is at some point, it's all going to come to an end. There's going to be a moment, I guarantee it, right? Like everybody goes through this. There's a moment where you can't get to where you're going to go to. Other people are going to let you down, like all of those things. In my world, this is ingrained. I would say like almost everybody, right? They all have this, I need to get to some place. It's busy, it's the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland that is always behind, running to some place, and you get there, and what? That's what I'm saying. And what? What happens if you simply take a step back and you realize like, hey, I could do this one little step at a time? All of a sudden, yeah, it might be a little bit slower, by a little bit, but at the same time, you're going to get there and your perspective is going to be a lot different. You're going to have a lot more friends. It's going to be a lot less stressful of a journey, and you actually do get there one little step at a time. I want you to internalize this. It's one little step at a time to get to where you need to go to. You don't have to be frantic. It's not that big of a deal if you miss something. Just take a little step. If you fail something today, you didn't get as good of grades as you got or you should have got, take a little step, take a step back, go back, figure out what happened and redo it, and go back and just keep doing that one little day at a time. That franticness that you feel, all of those feelings that are deeply ingrained in who you are, man, it's just not going to, it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't. You take a little step every day. And I know the people that really feel this, they're not going to watch this anyways. They just don't. That's just not who they are. But if you are part of this and you are really reflecting on who you are, think about it. What's going to happen when you take a little wee bit back and you smile, or, you have a little bit of fun? What is going to happen? Try it. All right, take care.